Okay. Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear us. We had some technical difficulties. I'm checking now if it's live on YouTube. We should be live in the video now. I think the YouTube stream has not started yet. There is some lag. Now if it's live. Okay. Hello and welcome. We will wait a few seconds for all the people to join. We had some difficulties in actually starting the Hangout due to the different time zones. There was some problem with it, but now we should be live and ready to go. Yeah.
Do you have the YouTube link, Yanis?
The YouTube link, yes.
Because I think we will see the questions there, right?
Yeah, I will send it to you. Hold on.
Yeah. Do you have the YouTube link, Yanis?
The YouTube link, yeah.
I've sent it to you. I've sent it.
Yeah. No. I can't see any questions yet on the YouTube. I don't know why. Can you see it? See them?
No, I also don't see it.
Yeah, last time there was okay, there are 2 people watching. I will check if no. Yeah.
Guys, can you type some questions if you can see it? I mean, as observers. Right?
Okay, there are 5 people watching now. Guys, we're waiting for everyone to join. There were some technical problems. Welcome to this webinar. We're also looking how to enable the function for you to be able to share questions or to ask questions. So we should be starting in 2 or 3 minutes. Be starting in 2 or 3 minutes.
I think there is a huge YouTube and Google Hangouts now. The video is coming a little bit too late. I think there's a huge lag between YouTube and Hangouts.
So, like, it says the live chat is enabled, like usually, but I can't see it.
Maybe it's from settings or.
Live chat is enabled.
Is it?
Yeah, it's enabled. Yeah.
Yeah, participants here as well? Or is this 5 people excluding us?
Okay, it says 6 people now. Hello, welcome everyone. we're looking for a method to open the chat. Which should be working. Do you guys have any possibility for the viewers? Hello, welcome. Do you have any possibility to type in some sort of chat or to ask questions to us? It should be possible through YouTube, but we seem to have problems in enabling the function. Because we want to make this webinar as interactive as possible, of course.
Through WhatsApp?
Okay, guys, we will open a parallel Facebook conversation. I will add everyone that I know, so you can ask questions through Facebook. I'm sorry, I don't know why it is not working through YouTube. It normally should. Last time we used this, it also did, and I'm trying to add everyone on Facebook. For those of you who are not yet in the conversation that we're starting now, please text me on Facebook and I'll add you to the conversation. There seems also to be some sort of lag in the video, like 20 seconds or something, so we will also try to keep that in mind. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is everyone that I have that I can add, so we will start now with the webinar. And see if it's working. Yeah. Select gear icon. I will try last. Okay. I don't have this option, Stefan. Where would that be in the YouTube channel?
Yes, this is something I found on the YouTube help page. But if you don't have the option stream events, and never mind.
Yeah. Live chat is enabled. What else do I have to enable?
No, that should be all.
Yeah, live chat is enabled. So yeah.
Maybe it's a bug in the YouTube right now or something. Yes.
It's not. We apologize that it's not possible to have the live chat now. That's why we're trying to have the chat on Facebook. Anyway, we will continue. We will continue with the webinar.
Can you also type it to the handover? Can you also type it to Hangouts website, or like, I don't know, what is it that you wrote? We will start in a few seconds. We have some troubles or something like this.
Can one of you post it maybe?
Because you on Facebook.
Can you post it, Safa?
Yes. Sorry.
Thank you.
I see. I can also do it.
Okay. So I will share my screen now. Can you see my screen, everyone? I hope yes. So this is the agenda that we have prepared for this webinar. So yeah, my name is Yanis. I'm president of EMSA Europe. Together with me in the webinar is the vice president of internal affairs, Safa, and the policy making officer, Stefan, and we will guide you through this webinar. So welcome everyone. Thank you for taking this Sunday, beautiful Sunday afternoon to spend it here. We are, please, you can always send us questions in the Facebook conversation that we open that you might have, and we will try to answer them. So just to briefly go through the agenda, we would now collect any questions you might have, or like what expectations you are. So please type your expectations of this meeting now. If you want like any specific part that we should focus on, it would be great if we can hear it now, so we can like adjust the time we spent on each topic. Then we will briefly go through the changes of the EEB structure that was done this year, and a short general overview of the work of the board, the process of application, the overview of how a term in the European board works, and the timeline of it, some tips or some no-goes for your candidature, and some words about during the GA. So yeah. Okay, brilliant. So we will start now with the changes of structure in the EEB. So first of all, of course, it is important for you to understand, and I think most of you already know it, the position in the European Board is by definition a leadership position. You're going to work on the highest level that you can work on these topics within Europe, for example, medical education. You will be able to attend conferences with the European Commission, etc., work on topics. So this is being, for example, a director in the board is as high as it gets on our continent if you're a medical student and want to work on these topics. The same goes, and even more increasingly so, for the executive board, of course, which is the general management body. So if you're if you're not aware of the current structure of the European board, this might be an indication that it's, for example, maybe too early for you to consider applying. So this is, every position in the European board is by definition a leadership position, and I will highlight 2 or 3 changes that were done this year. The number of executive board members increased from 5 to 6 with the new vice president for capacity, which will be a position in charge of organizing the EMSA meetings, the General Assemblies and the other meetings, and also manage the whole public relations activities of the association. At the same time, the position that Stefan is currently holding of policy-making officer is now created into a new pillar of European health policy and will be as the 6th director of the Department of Internal Affairs. This is it. Furthermore, there's a position that was introduced last year is now included in the canon of EEB positions, which is the WHO internship, World Health Organization that we have in Brussels now. Yeah, so if you have any questions, please type them as we go, and we will try to answer them. So a general overview of the work of the board. We are 16 people in the board right now. We have many of us, we have assistants which are like assisting us in our tasks. Safa has, for example, 2 assistants. And well, we are an international team. We try to meet as often as the budget allows and time allows, of course, in the year. But most of our communication goes through online meetings and through emails. So this is something that is vastly different, I think, from the national and local level. But it is also quite a great joy to work in this international field. Yeah, if you would want to type, if you can hear me, if you could type in the Facebook chat what positions you're interested in, that would be really helpful for us to steer, because we have, I think, 4 people in there, so we could steer it more effectively in the direction that might be relevant for you. moving on. Of course, for becoming a board member, you need to be passionate about EMSA, passionate about your topic. You need to have leadership experience, of course. And another thing that sounds maybe a bit redundant, but it's also important. Of course, you will need to have a laptop or some sort of computer. A laptop, especially because you will need it during events or during meetings. Yeah, there are two people that sent me friend requests on Facebook. I will add them now to the conversation. Hold on. I'm sorry that we have to do this double structure with the
Janis
Facebook.
wants to build his social network.
Sorry, Stefan?
Janis just wants to build his social network.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Leah, and I'm adding one more person. So last time we tried this chat, it worked quite perfectly. So if you could indicate us in the Facebook chat what kind of board position you're interested in, that would be very helpful for us to continue with the online to like steer it in a better direction. Then yeah, we work in the board communication-wise. The platforms for online meetings, they change a bit depending on preferences of people. Most of the time we use Skype. All our work goes through the EMSA, through Google Apps and Google Drive, Google Mail. We have a professional Google Business environment that we host all our documents in, etc., and all our users. Yeah. Then moving on to the next topic, process of applications of candidature. As you know, this year the deadlines for candidatures were changed, and it is now the 31st July, which means you can apply until the last minute of 31st July. The actual deadline is the first minute of the 1st of August, and after that we cannot accept any candidatures. They will be not valid according to the EMSA internal rules. So what will happen this, in the next 8 days for people that are interested in candidating, you need to send a written application, as it was stated in the call, together with your certificate of EMSA membership and your plan of action and curriculum vitae, and then we will compile all these files and share it with the EMSA members and the plenary documents, and then at the General Assembly the Constitution Commission will confirm that your candidature is valid according to the rules. So please don't send us questions if we have received the candidature, etc. You will get it in the general email that will be sent out on 1st of August because we receive many candidatures usually, and it would be, we don't want to send emails around at midnight. So yeah. What else is to say on this topic? Point 6 is overview of the term and the EEB and timeline. So there were also some changes here after the General Assembly, which is of course in September. We will have in October a sort of handover month where the old team stays in charge and the new team is following everything as observers. You'll get an email address as elected board member to follow all these conversations. You will have several online meetings with your predecessors and define a plan for the mandate, and with your vice presidents, etc. And then from 1st of October is like the official start of the mandate, and it will last for 1 calendar year. The change now is that the new executive board for the year after will be elected at the Spring Assembly 2017, which will be in April next year. So there already the new executives will be elected, and they will have an extended handover period. Yeah. So we're waiting still for people to participate in the Facebook chat and answer the questions so we can give you a bit more direct input on or direct suggestions for the for any position you might be interested. Some general tips that we want to give all interested candidates is that you should definitely contact your predecessor before sending a candidature. You still have 8 days left, and they will be able to help you maybe with the candidature, give you some tips for the plan of action that you need to make. So don't create a candidature for for already existing positions out of thin air, because, like, as you know, we have a strategic plan in EMSA for the whole association, and the current position holders will be most qualified to give you feedback on what ideas you have, what is realistic, etc. So if you don't contact your predecessors and like have a Skype with them or something, that usually is not very well received by the General Assembly or the plenary. Then some other things that we have realized from the past is a general tip. You have to know the existing EMSA policies. If you candidate for a director position or an executive position, the probability is that you are being asked some questions on some policies is almost 100%. So you have to know the current EMSA policies of your field of interest. If possible, also, of course, past policies. If you're a candidate for an executive position, you should, of course, know all EMSA policies. And the last tip that I can give is like to write a good plan of action, and that's why it's important to also contact your predecessor. Stefan or Safa, is there anything that you might want to add to this list, or some other tips from your experience that you would want to give?
For people who are considering executive board candidature, that you should of course be having like a wide vision, and going to tell either in your candidature folder or in your candidature presentation during AA, should not only focus on indicate how much you can inspire your teammates, and how much can you give, like conceptually, how much can you give the vision to your teammates, and how can you lead them in general. Because in many executive board positions, it's not required to have like very concrete promises, but maybe your vision is awaiting for leadership from you than concrete promises.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to add that you do not need to know all policies by heart, word by word. You need to know the general scope of the most recent active policies, which is now, luckily for you, a rather small number. So I invite you to take a look on the webpage. And if you have any questions, you can write the email address of the respective director, who will be very happy to answer any questions you have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Stefan and Safa, for this comment. Yeah, then before we collect more questions from all of you guys, I would like to jump to the point. So during the General Assembly, I assume that most of you, they will also be present. It is some like personal feedback that I can give for you, for every one of you that I've seen in the past, things that people did and maybe they didn't go so well for them is, first of all, don't be a candidate and don't be late for sessions. People will remember this if you're late for sessions, or if you even worse, skip the plenary. Be active in sessions. People will see how active you are. For example, if you're a candidate for science director, for example, and you're in the science sessions and not active, this will also negatively impact your candidature. Then be aware of that people, whatever you say in the General Assembly, be aware that you're also a candidate and people will perceive you like this. So maybe try not to make the worst motions. What I've seen 3 years ago, there was also someone candidating for a position and also chairing the General Assembly. This also went very badly for that person, because the chairing was not so great and that reflected poorly. So this is also something to consider. Also during the event, I mean, we will have one meeting with all the candidates and brief you a bit more what we think could be expected from you, etc., how you should behave as candidate in front of participants and in front of external guests, etc. So basically we will warmly invite you to follow the same code of conduct that the European Board follows. For example, you should never ever get drunk as a candidate during an event or something like this, or oversleep some sessions. Yeah, this is some very basic advice that I have. Stefan, Safa, do you have anything more to add?
There might be some. For now, I think the stuff that you mentioned are enough. So the general idea is your credit in the AA. So just behave as the position that you are aiming for. This is like really important because people are like watching you very closely when you are candidating for a position, because everybody in that AA hopefully know your name and face and photo and your plan of action and everything. Because in an ideal world, they all read all the candidatures and everything beforehand. So I think it's like really realistic that everybody just knows you beforehand. So all the both mistakes and also positive points that you are having during AA will be either like bad effect to your candidature or a positive effect to your candidature. So please be aware of this.
Mm-hmm. Good. Do you have any questions? Please feel free to write us in the Facebook chat, of course. I've seen Arya has written, well, what kind of additional information would be useful for you, Arya? Can someone type the questions that we ask in the Facebook chat? Because I think there is some lag. Stefan, could you retype the questions? That would be super. Oh, okay. That's I think a very good question. So Arya is asking how much traveling one has to expect, especially with the Vice President External Affairs position. I think this is a question that is not so easy to answer. I would say it depends a bit on the possibilities and priorities of the whole executive board. So and also of the whole team actually. So how the team dynamics are and how the workload is. I mean, we have to cover. Stefan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think like in the whole year we had some, I don't know, 40, 50 external meetings, if I remember this list that we sent to Spring Assembly. What we do for what we do usually for meetings where we get invited by the European Commission, etc., for these working groups, we try to send the experts in the board, which are the directors. For example, if there's something on antimicrobial resistance, instead of sending a president, or we try to send a public health director or a medical science director. The same if there is like EU health policy topics or ethical topics. Then, like, the basic travel that you have is, of course, to the EMSA meetings, the General Assemblies. This is right there, 2 weeks of the year already, that you travel. Then we have, for the Executive Board, there are 2 face-to-face meetings. These are 2 extended weekends in the year additionally. And then for the European, for the meeting of the whole European Board, there are also usually like 2 face-to-face meetings, depending on the budget, which is another like 2 weekends or 2 weeks, depending how long you can stay. Traditionally, the first meeting is after Christmas, the first face-to-face meeting over New Year's Eve, because most people can attend there. It worked good in the past. This year, the attendance was a bit of a problem, so this will be figured out by the new team. Then this is it for internal travels. Of course, there are other EMSA events like the European Week of Ethics or the TCE, but not the whole board goes there, or can go there, but it's not necessarily reimbursed. It is and all external meetings are actually budget-wise, they're a one-on-one decision, meaning that we take case by case and see, we get this invitation from that association, how relevant is it with our strategy, with our policies? Do we send someone there? And then we see who's available within the board. So, so it can really like depend. 2 important meetings per year that the president or the vice president of external affairs have to cover is the president's meeting of the European medical associations, and then there are 2 or 3, like 4, 5, 6 other very important GAs, like the Standing Committee of European Doctors, European Junior Doctors, GAs, this kind of our like closest partners. These are the most important meetings that we have to send someone. And then we have, of course, all the other students associations that we collaborate with, the dentists, the pharmacists, and there usually be open a call within the whole board, and then see who can attend, and then see if we can reimburse it or not. So it really depends. Sometimes also meetings come up. So it also depends on the priorities of the whole team, but also on your own priorities. I mean, if EMSA cannot reimburse all the travels, but many are reimbursed from other associations. If we get invited by the European Commission, they pay usually, or other agencies pay, and and then some of the important meetings the association pays themselves. So yeah, given enough time and budget, personal budget, I mean, you can easily spend, I think, if you want, you can spend 40 weeks per year traveling, which I would not recommend. The idea is that within the team we find like a healthy split of this kind of travels and healthy balance, which we tried in the last year. So it was usually between the president and the vice presidents, these meetings, we shifted back and forth, and some were attended by the Secretary General. Yeah. I hope this answers your question, Arya. Are there any more questions? Okay, we'll wait 20 seconds to see if there are more questions.
Maybe I can ask a question to us and then answer it.
European Week of Ethics Cup.
For example, maybe we can talk about the tasks of you during AA, or like if you get elected as a board member. Task of an EEB member during a General Assembly is actually to running together with the OC. When I say this, I mean, for example, we are 95% responsible for the plenaries, Mostly Secretary General and Executive Board is responsible, but there are also some physical tasks that might require your help. If we need to give examples from SA, for example, like Abiyan was switching on and off the lights, people, or Stefan was in charge of the live wall and the funny pictures and everything. Others were helping with the microphone and everything. So events are not easy jobs, also physically. So you are also expected to help during AA and during AA and SA, or actually all international events. Before the event, we are having a task distribution, and every day in the morning, we as EEB, so we wake up very early, at least an hour earlier than the participants, and we have our breakfast and meeting together, and then we go to the venue together. During that meeting, during the breakfast, we share daily tasks among us. And I see Stefan wants to say something.
I just wanted to explain. Live wall is like a live Twitter feed thing, just in case you didn't know.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Also for you to attend. I think we had the top peak attendance was 10 people, which is more than we expected actually for this webinar. So thank you very much for joining us here. And if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to contact your predecessors or someone from the executive board, or we're very much looking forward for your candidatures, and yeah, see you latest at the autumn assembly. Thank you very much for attending this this webinar. Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you.